Are you suffering from draft withdrawal? If so, you've come to the right place. We're breaking down who will be the top offensive prospects in 2014 with our managing editor, Pete Fiutak, the one and only. All right, this year was the first year, Pete, since 1966. 5 offensive linemen went in the first 10 picks. Who's on your big board for next year?
Expect more of the same going into next year. This trend will continue. It would have been interesting to see where Alabama offensive tackle Cyrus Kouandjio would have gone if he were eligible this year. Some people think he would have been the #1 overall pick. He's got a lot to work on in terms of consistency and pass protection, but all the abilities and tools are there to be that top pick going into next season. If it's not Jadeveon Clowney, it's going to be the Alabama offensive tackle. Also in the mix for the top 5 is going to be Jake Matthews out of Texas A&M. Now, Luke Joeckel was obviously one of the top players coming into this year. Now, Matthews isn't quite the same sort of athlete, not quite as big, but he's more of a strong run blocker than Joeckel is. He's definitely going to be on everyone's charts early on. Then come the quarterbacks, and that's going to be a problem. If you hated this year's crop of quarterbacks, just wait to see what's coming down the pike next year. There's a whole lot of nothing after Teddy Bridgewater, and his value is going to be raised through the roof because he does have all the ability. He's got the size, the moxie, the arm strength. Everything is there for the Louisville quarterback to be a top pick going off the board. Back to the offensive tackles, Taylor Lewan out of Michigan. He's got the frame, he's got the size. There's some question about whether or not he can be mean enough for the running game. But again, the frame is there and everything is in place to be a starting left tackle at the next level. And finally, possibly the most explosive player in the draft who's on the field, Marquise Lee out of USC. Now, he's not going to time all that well. He's probably going to be around the 4-5 range, but get the ball in his hands as a kick returner or in deep ball patterns, he'll make the play for you.
All right, let's get back to Teddy Bridgewater. Had he gone in the draft this year, where do you think he would have gone?
Probably after Manuel. Buffalo seemed to have a set interest in Manuel and his skill set and his tools. So I think he goes after Manuel, but I wouldn't have been shocked if he was the #2 quarterback taken. I think he goes well before the 3rd or 4th round where all those other guys were going. I think he probably would have gone early, mid-second round.
All right, so you mentioned Marquise Lee certainly has the physical skills, but he's not going to have quarterback Matt Barkley back there or Robert Woods back to kind of take the pressure off a little bit. And with all the uncertainty about who's going to be under center for the Trojans, how will that potentially affect the way scouts look at him in his draft?
Humongous question mark, and that could be his biggest problem. If you saw at the end of last year after Bart got hurt, he still produced, but he wasn't quite the explosive playmaker. He didn't do as much. Now, the coaching staff's going to invent ways to get the ball in his hands where he can do something with it, but you're right, that could be a big problem. That's going to probably drop him down.
All right, Pete, great stuff. Thanks very much. Well, looking for more draft coverage? How about the NBA draft? Our Seth Davis tells us which players should have stayed in school an extra year, only on CampusInsiders.com.